Ichigo, yahoo! Hi everybody, happy Thursday. I'm sorry for being an hour late. I can explain, I don't really want to, but I can't explain because it's not my fault this time. I had how do I want to just say this bluntly, or do I want to explain what led to everything happening? Do I want to give all the details of what happened in the past hour? Hi Cardi. Hi Bread, thank you for waiting. Bread was so patient, he was just waiting so silently in there. Never once asked me what like where I was. There was no pressure on Bread's end at all. Hi Bread. We just woke Bread up in the Discord server. I debated if I wanted to. I was like, no, he's probably a sleepy boy. Anyways, I was on time today, okay? I had all my shit done. I had all my homework done. I had all my slides done. I had the anime done. Like, more than 10 minutes before the stream. I was all set up and ready. And the whole day today, my computer, every time I tried to take a screenshot, and I have a screenshot addiction, okay? I think I probably take like 50 screenshots a day. I use that what is it? Control Alt, is it W? Well, let me see. It's like Control Alt X or something. I use the screenshot shortcut so frequently, and every time I went to take a screenshot today, my monitor would black out and my Windows would make the uh-oh noise, and then it would open my AMD to submit a crash report. I was like, well, that's kind of weird, but whatever. It proceeded that way all day, and I just ignored it because it didn't affect anything I had to do. And then I opened my face tracker, and dude, this shit was taking up like 99 CPU. I was like, what the hell is happening? And it was only going up, and then my computer sounded like it was gonna explode. So I was like, oh, I just have to reset my computer. So I reset my computer twice, and then I submitted a crash report. I just thought it was like a weird graphics thing. I didn't think it was like a bigger problem. And then I came back. I opened at first because I opened my Streamlabs and my face tracker at the same time. I just thought it was both of them together. I thought maybe there was something running in the background of my computer that I forgot about. So I was going through my task manager trying to see what the problem was, and it was just my VTube Studio is taking up like all my CPU. So I was like, what the hell? So then I was trying to troubleshoot that as its own issue. But I was like, I don't know, I kind of think that like the blacking out of the monitor was a bigger problem. And also one time when it blacked out, I was on my browser, and when it turned on, it was just a white screen with like this really pixelated blue top bar with like the tabs, but it was really robotic looking, like really old looking. Very pixely. And then it came back to normal, so I was just like, okay, whatever. And then what the fuck? Is it a branch? It's like thunderstorming outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it. But I had my window open earlier today, and I kept seeing these like squirrels hopping over the fence, and I think one of them ran into my window, and they kept scaring the shit out of me. So I don't know if what does squirrel nests look like? I kept seeing them. I can like stare at it right now. It's like right outside my window, but I don't have my blinds open. Kind of spooky. Anyways, but yeah, I was what was I doing? Where was I? Okay, yeah. So it fucking sucked. My CPU was at 99%, and I just kept clearing my caches, clearing my Steam cache downloads, and then I think I tried like everything under the sun. At first I thought it was my fucked up model I made, but I got rid of all of that right away, and then it didn't fix it. And then so I was just like, I don't know what to do. And then I remembered being like, this probably has something to do with the monitor. A large bird nest just fully enclosed on the tree. That's weird. I've never seen one before, but there's like a nook out there, because for some reason this side of the house that my room is on, it has like the fence, but it doesn't have a gate, so it's just like this untouched part of the yard that I don't go into. And there's always just like critters and shit out there. I keep having to burp. But anyways, I had my tea. I had my tea ready an hour ago. And I've just been sitting here waiting to drink it. But so I decided to look up my drivers. And I clicked my drivers. And it said, your drivers aren't installed. There are no drivers. I was like, what the fuck? When? Since when did that happen? And so I opened my little device manager. I click the drivers, and I click. Oh no, it said drivers are disabled, and then I click enable, and it says, no, you can't run the drivers, you dumb idiot. I was like, what the fuck? And then it opens AMD's crash report again, and then you're watching a recording. Yeah, this is the VOD. And then I clicked submit a crash report, and then it pops up this blurry, transparent filter square over half of my screen, and I was like, what? And then I went to close the AMD crash report tab, and it just wouldn't close, and then so the transparent blur square stayed on my screen for a while, and then I ignored that, and then went to the website to install the drivers, and then I reset my computer, and now it's normal. I don't know why my computer was just like, well, let's get rid of the drivers, but it did that. So now I have my drivers, and it's all okay. That was really, really weird. But while looking up answers, I saw a Reddit post that said that their AMD drivers corrupt themselves every day, and every day they have to reinstall new drivers. I was like, what the fuck? That sounds like a nightmare, but this has never happened before, but it was so weird. It sucked, bro. But anyways, let it be on the records that I had that shit finished. I had everything finished, and I was comfy in my seat 2 minutes before the stream started. It was supposed to start, and then everything was just lagging the fuck out. And now I am an hour late again. So yeah. Anyways, aside from that, I say we commence Anime Club meeting number 16. What say you? And then I have a 32-page packet to do. And not groceries, and dishes. But that's for future me to worry about. Actually, let me make sure my slides are done, because I had all my shit ready, like all lined up, and then it everything happened, so I have to make sure it's all pulled out. Okay. But thank you guys for waiting, it means a lot to me. It's no problem. I was debating it. I was like, I don't know, is that weird? That whole time you were just dead silent in there. I was like, I don't know, you said 30 minutes. And then, oh, let me make sure I have my wheel spinner. Uh-oh. Sight. Oh, here we go. I see what the problem is. And then... Dun, dun, dun. What kind of classwork are you getting? It's just Russian. I don't know. And then he was like, okay, so one of my classes will be like in class, right? At like the late hour of like 11:30 or something. And the professor will just go, like on top of the homework that we get weekly, like on a schedule, like here's what you have to get done this week. He'll be like, I'm gonna post some more homework on Canvas. It'll be uploaded around like 3 or like 4, around that time. Just make sure you get it done tonight, okay? That's what he does. And I was just like, bro. And he gave us this packet, and he said there's gonna be a quiz posted tonight too, at a random time. So I have to do that. But for now, I'm focused on the anime club. I'm locked in. Once I get everything into its former glory like it was before the great crash of 25. Get on this. the screen. This whiteboard is at a slight angle, but it's pretty good, and I just gotta move you guys around. Okay. And then I'm gonna mosey. I just realized how quiet it was. I'm gonna mosey on down for a minute, and then I'll come back. I'll come back when I'll see you guys in the classroom. That's what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna shuffle over here. And then actually, I've never done this before. Okay. Alright. What an empty classroom. Uh-oh. Oh good, okay. I thought, uh-oh, I'm doing stuff I shouldn't be. I gotta alter my body for just a minute. Bear with me. I just love body altercations. What was that? What did I just see? I just got flashed. Alrighty. I'm ready. Oh, whoops. I cut myself in half. Hold on one damn minute. Alright. I'm ready. I'm really small. Okay. Hello. I didn't know if I wanted to say hello or well. Because I do love my wells. Alright, let's go. I take this shit seriously because now I have notes, and it's partially because we've been watching really long animes recently and I want to make sure I remember everything. And also I just like to, I've always wanted an anime journal. But yeah, hi everybody, welcome to this empty classroom in this school that we all go to that hasn't been named yet. Hello my beloved classmates. What grade am I? I guess let's just go by my grade in school in real life. Or I guess not school. College? Sophomore. Yeah. Immersion. So some of you are above me, some of you are under me. Hashtag realism. My goodness, is small as hell. Get that shit bigger. I was thinking, I was like, because I think I can make a pretty good cosplay of myself. And I was like, but how would I wear it though? And I was like, wait, for October and spooky season, I've been wanting to do a Palestinian aid fundraiser that lasts a week, full of various activities. But I thought for one of them, because it's October, it could be like my costume, and then I have like a real life shoulders downstream to raise money or something. And then every like donation or something, I jam my thumb into my bass crease, and maybe even give that shit a squeeze. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if that would rack up money, but it would sure look crazy. Realism. I don't know yet. I don't know what I want to do, but it is a fun idea. Oh, I wrote that already. My bad. I thought we were talking in like role play. Out of RP. More canvas talk. I'm done. Timer canceled. Dude, when my timers don't go off, it pisses me off when I didn't wake up and I wake up to my timer going off silently. I'm just like, what the fuck, bro? Yeah, it's 32 pages. It's just like writing practice, but oh, bro. Hi, Spike. I wonder, should I wake up anyone else? I thought there was someone else that said they wanted to come, but I don't wanna be one of the people that's just like, hey, I'm streaming, wake up, make sure you watch me. I don't know, I've never been one of those people. So I get embarrassed even if the person said that they wanted to make the stream. I get scared I sound too narcissistic. So in true narcissist fashion, to save my own pride, I'm not gonna tell them that I'm streaming. Does that make sense? Alright, I'm glad. Anyways, I can put the ranks on the screen now actually, because they can fit up here. Where are they? Hello? There we are. That fits perfectly. Alright, Welcome to Anime Club, meeting number 16. Hi everybody. Thank you for gathering in this classroom tonight at 9:18 p.m. Makes me your senpai. You wanna go to class together? I guess it does. In this context, you're like, I guess if we're pretending to be in a Japanese high school, you're in middle school though. Otaku Gakuen. Oh, bro. That is pretty hard. Kiki Gakuen. Alright, look at this hard as fuck image. This image is actually what my poster is. I have a Black Clover poster that I got 3 years ago. And I was like, wow, that looks hard as fuck, and I want more anime posters for my wall. So I got this. It's behind me right now, and this picture is really hard. And I don't really regret buying it. I was really scared that the anime would ruin it for me. But it didn't. So, without further ado, commence Anime Club meeting number 16 of Black Clover, Season 1, Episodes 1 through 50. As always, spoiler warning. If you haven't watched it and you're intending to watch it, get out of here, you weeb, you loser. You didn't get your homework done in time. We had anime due at 8 p.m. tonight. Shame. Alrighty. I think I have my notes open as well. I actually wrote very, very detailed episode reviews on my anime list. I think there's like 50 various episode reviews on my anime list for various animes on that website that I've written, and it doesn't have, to my knowledge, I thought I found it once, but I can't find it again. It doesn't have a feature where you can see what you actually posted and wrote, so once I posted it, it was just like lost to time. I can't find it. So I was gonna reference those because they were pretty detailed about my thoughts on the episodes. But I just have to go off of my memory and what like little things I remember that I wanted to say when I watched it. Anyways, that's all I have to say. And I'm reusing the Full Metal Alchemist template I made because it's really cool. Alright. Here's our order of stuff we're doing today. We're gonna do our icebreaker. And wait, am I supposed to do the overview for new people? I guess I will. Welcome to Anime Club, new people. For those who don't know, we watch a new anime each week or bi-weekly, depending on how long it is. And we also go over seasonal anime releases and lists, and we do games, and we have other stuff planned, but it hasn't happened yet. And that's it. Alright, we're gonna do our icebreaker for new people and shy people to get out there, to socialize amongst the other otakus, ikikomoris, neets, and weebs, and the like. And then we're gonna go over the episodes and anime overview. And I wrote down some other things I wanted to talk about as well with the anime. And then we're gonna go over the characters. And then we're gonna go over the fun fact for this anime. And then we're gonna do our voting for next week's either anime or activity. Because I have the magical wheel of magical funness now, which is how we landed on the game night last time. Alrighty. I said my teeth. Hajimemashou. So the icebreaker I have today is what would cause you to drop an anime? I guess more specifically, either early on or like what is your like deal breaker for when you're watching an anime and you're just like, oh fuck no, and then you just like leave? Or is it a specific thing, or is it like a gradual thing? Is it something that builds up and festers inside of you and then you just can't take it anymore, you just have to go? For me, I used to have a rule where I had to watch 5 episodes at least of every anime and see if I really, really didn't like it or if it was just slow to start. And I learned a lot about what I like and dislike and what I'm willing to tolerate in anime from that. And let me think of some examples. So there's like is it Beelzebub or like Beelzebub, something like that? Beelzebub, I watched 4 years ago. I think I got 6 episodes in or 5. One of those per my rule. And I was miserable, bro. I don't know what it was. I just hated it. I felt like the humor was so odd. And I feel like everyone else loves that show. I could not care less about any of it. Not even not care. It was just like, I just hated it, bro. And then so I was so eager when that 5 days was up. And then I guess another example is like I think Soul Eater. And I know that Soul Eater is beloved, and I personally like the aesthetic and like the opening and stuff. Again. And I actually, I think I dropped it like 3 episodes in, and I know some things are slow to pick up because my best example is like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. When I watched the first episode, I felt like it was designed specifically for fans of the old anime at first. I was really confused. And then at the second episode I was like, yeah, okay. It's like the sad backstory. We already knew that this anime would be sad. And then like the third episode, I was like, okay, that's a corrupt priest. I was like, is this whole anime just like really like blunt, depressing stuff? Does it pick up at all? And then it did. So I guess that's my example. And I think looking back on it, it was like that was a pretty good like ease into the show. I might have just been hyper judgmental, but now it's in my top 10 favorite animes. So I think the thing that rubs me the wrong way about animes when I first start watching them is if the characters feel, I guess, more so like the story, I guess, the story that the author already wrote is kind of pushing everyone around rather than the actual characters living and existing in that environment is the main thing. And of course, just like boringness, just not clicking with the show is one thing. But my main pet peeve is when it feels more like things are happening just to happen, and it's just kind of like that's just what the author intended to happen. It's unrealistic, but it just had to happen for the story to go the way that the author wanted, I guess. That's my pet peeve, I guess, with anime. I don't know if that makes sense. I think there's like a better way to word that in the writing community. I'm just not a professional writer. But I know they tell people like make sure that you're writing, it feels like it's just like you're just watching the characters' lives naturally, and this is just the way things unfolded, as opposed to just being forced and kind of pushed around and manipulated to make things happen. If that makes sense. I've been drawing Colossasaurus. Bad dialogue. Oh my gosh, it's so crucial because there have been animes that's like you can take like if you took the bad dialogue and then rewrote it in a better way, the synopsis would stay exactly the same and the character descriptions would stay exactly the same, but it just affects the vibes so harshly. It's crazy how bad dialogue can ruin something. Over explanation, themes, lore, or just treating the viewers as they're lobotomized. Oh my gosh. I saw that in this anime once, I think. Actually twice. Twice I saw it. I'll probably forget about the second part, but yeah, it's like when like characters start talking to themselves in the middle of a battle and they're not even talking to a character and they just start like hyper analyzing whatever move they used for no reason. It's like like in this one I think there was a force field or like a second dimension force field thing, and the guy was like, oh, I'm stuck in this other dimension ball, and the guy was just like fucking like 100 meters away, far as fuck away. Nobody could hear each other, and he was just like my dimension force field can't be broken, it traps everyone in there and nobody can leave. I was just like, okay, we get it, we can see that, thank you, is how I feel about it. Other than that, I think that was a good example. if the series is really boring or repetitive, or just the first couple of episodes feel incomprehensible. Also, utilizing tropes like misunderstandings or mind control are similar that I don't like. Yeah, especially now, I feel like with how much anime I watch, it's like when they start using like stereotypes and not like cliches, maybe cliches, but just like really unoriginal stuff. I'm just like, oh brother, and I kind of just have like this like sour feeling towards the anime. It makes it much harder to win me back towards the anime, I guess, if that makes sense. Nathan Drink Syndrome. Oh, I'm sorry, Brad. I don't know why. I think it's because I have bad words censored, but I was thinking of removing them. Alright. So that's the icebreaker. I hope everything I said made sense, because I'm a little eepy. But anyways. Moving on. Hold on, let me check my slide. Okay, I got it right. Anyways, here's the overview for anybody who doesn't know what Black Clover is. It has 170 episodes total. We watched season 1, episodes 1 through 50. There's a police officer outside. I can hear it. Sirens. Anyways, it is a fall 2017 anime, which feels fairly old. Because I could have sworn this was like 2019 or 2020 or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a pretty old one. So that's interesting. PG-13, it has an 8.14 rating on my anime list. Which isn't bad. And then I'll read out the synopsis for anybody who needs it read out. Two orphans, Asta and Yuno, grow up together with the shared dream of becoming the Wizard King, the greatest mage in the kingdom. Yuno shows extraordinary magical talent, while Asta, born without magic, relies on sheer physical training. At 15, Yuno is chosen by a rare 4-leaf clover grimoire. Grimoires are their magical books for context. While Asta seemingly receives nothing, but when Yuno is attacked for his grimoire, Asta's determination awakens a mysterious... Who the fuck is texting me? What? Who is this? Angel! Angel, quit texting me! He sent me a TikTok! He sent me 2 TikToks! Hold on, wait, we gotta watch this shit live right now. Let's see if it was worth it. Do I want to turn... What if it's just like slurs if I turn this all the way up? Alright, just now. Alright, I'm gonna turn this shit up so you guys can hear. He sent me this TikTok. 6, 7. 6, 7. But you know, that's not the original phrases like that. That's N-N-E-T-S. What? In Job chapter 5, verse 19, it says, in 6 troubles, quit. The Lord will deliver you, and in 7 they will hate you. 6, 7. And in the verse it says there are 6 things that God hates, and 7 that are an abomination to him. 6, 7. In the beginning. What is this edit? It's showing me the edit right now. Nothing that has been created has been created except through Christ. He is. Thank you, Angel. God created for 6 days and rested on the 7th. Thank you, Angel. That was an experience. Oh, texting during anime club. For shame. Anyways. I didn't know my ringer was that loud. I think it's because I set a timer because I took a 10-minute nap. And didn't even sleep. I didn't fall asleep, but I was laying in my bed. And I left my ringer on. Anyways, where was I? Sorry to be interrupted so soon. Pager's watching TikToks again. I had to see if it was worth it. Alright. Anyway, Asta's determination awakens a mysterious 5-leaf clover grimoire, granting him anti-magic powers with rival spirits and the same goal. The two set off into the world to chase their destiny. And that's our plot. I'll talk about this later, never mind. But anyway, that's the anime. If it sounds interesting to you and you want to watch it without spoilers, feel free to leave and get out of here and get started on that. Aside from that, this is the last spoiler warning. And I'll jump right the fuck into it. Also, this anime was chosen by our last anime game nights winner, Red Garlic. He picked this anime. And then, the second place winner, Meepy Morps, chose the genre for our voting for the end of this meeting, which was fantasy. So that's pretty cool. So thank you guys, thank you winners. And then Hypersonic was third place and he picked, what was it? Call of the Night for one of next week's voting options. Anyways, I think that's everything I have to say. So we're gonna move on to anime episode anime overview. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna go through 6 episodes at a time because it's a longer show that we watched. Yosh. Also, these little synopsises of 6 episodes at a time were kind of hard to keep track of, and I think at some point they get jumbled. Don't quote me on that, but I think they're not the most reliable, but they're okay. Anyways, so episodes 1 through 6, I might read them out loud also for anybody who needs it to be read. And also for my own memory and everyone else's. Cause it is hard to remember like what happened between certain episodes. Let me pull up my notes to make sure there's nothing that I know for certain I want to say right away. Okay. I hear something. Hold on, am I bugging? I heard like this weird like static in my headphones. I couldn't tell what that was. I might just be tweaking, I don't know. It might just be like the college catching up to me. Alright. Continuing. Alright, I'm gonna read this out loud for anybody who slacked off on their anime assignments for the last 2 weeks. Asta and Yuno, 2 orphans raised together, dream of becoming the Wizard King, the strongest mage in the kingdom. At the Grimoire ceremony, Yuno receives a 4-leaf grimoire, rare 4-leaf grimoire, while Asta gets nothing! But when Yuno is attacked, Asta's determination awakens a 5-leaf grimoire, grimoire with anti-magic powers, allowing him to fight back. The two travel to the capital for the Magic Knight's entrance exam, where Yuno's exceptional talent earns him a place in the prestigious Golden Dawn, while Asta, despite his lack of magic, impresses Captain Yami and joins the unruly Black Bulls. As Asta adjusts to his chaotic new squad, he meets eccentric teammates like Noelle Silva, a royal struggling to control her magic. These early episodes set the stage for Asta and Yuno's rivalry, their growth as Magic Knights, and the bonds they begin forming with their comrades. So that's a rough summary of 1 through 6. I'm gonna go over each episode though to the best of like what I want to say about it, basically. My asthma is so bad today. Ignore that. I had to reach for my water and it fucking took it out of me. Alright. I'll try not to act like a crippled old woman for the rest of the night. Anyways. Dude, I've had the same inhaler for like 6 years. It hasn't been refilled because I don't know how to refill them. So I just take a weak ass puff, but I don't think it's working anymore. Anyways. Alright, so episode 1, I wanted to say, when it showed the start of like Asta and Yuno as babies together in the church because they were orphans, it was semi-unclear to me that they were friends or like not blood related. Screw asthma, yeah, fuck asthma. Anyways, hashtag what the fuck, not a trigger warning, hashtag don't be concerned warning. If I inhale later and you guys hear just like this really weird whistle that sounds like my throat's closed, don't worry about it, it's fine, I'll be okay. I would like to continue with Anime Club. Anyways, you forgot to inhale the powdered stuff? No, I've had to have the mask machine on my face though for like an hour or like 30 minutes a day with the long ass tube Dude, I sound like an obese person that's constantly out of breath. I promise I'm not like I'm not drowning under myself or anything. I'm vibing, bro. I'm reclined in my gamer chair. Anyways, it was unclear to me if they were brothers or what the fuck? Brother? Are they brothers or siblings? No. Like friend brothers or like brother brothers? Because they arrived at the same time. If I'm correct, it kind of presented it that way. Dying noise doesn't even let the fuck in. It's embarrassing because it sounds like I'm crying. If my throat gets tight, I just like go like it's so weird. But anyways, basically just don't get concerned. Anyways, so that was like the complaint I had with episode 1, and also Asta is kind of creepy towards the nun. I think that's just part of his character. I'm not like against characters having problems that they overcome or anything, or like character flaws. I'm not like literacy illiterate or something. But for that reason, I didn't really like Asta at the start. And another very, very crucial thing I would like to say is at the start, I was watching in sub, okay? I watched in sub my whole life, basically, almost. And it's never caused me any problems. I've never felt that sub gave me any sort of like lack of understanding, or that sub was worse or better than dub in any way. Unless the dub is like some heinous stuff. But other than that, I've never felt strongly of like, yeah, sub forever. Asta's voice in the sub is insufferable. It is really, really bad. And people all the way back in 2017 felt the same, because when I was looking through the reviews on my anime list on the episode, everyone was saying that his voice was so bad and ear-grating, and that even 3 episodes in, they were debating dropping the anime just because of his voice. And the best way I can describe it is that it's comparable to like a young Naruto, but on a worse level, because Asta is constantly screaming. They picked a much more childish VA, I think, or at least like character for the VA to portray. And in English, I think he does well, still sounding childish, but not sounding horrible. But the Asta VA for sub likes to, I guess both Astas scream, but this one is like in like the early Naruto days where Naruto was always like "Adatebayo" just constantly. But picture that like extended, where it's like 3 times as long, and it's at the end of every sentence for no reason. I've been watching sub for my whole life, and I am semi-okay in Japanese. I don't think this was a cultural block at all. It just sucked, and it's to the point where I switched to dub, and I never switched it back to sub at all. And it is so bad, I think, to the point where it changes Asta's character in a way, in the way that the lines are performed. It is a completely different character, and the direction of it. And I think that is a problem, and I can't tell if I haven't read the manga. I can't tell if this was a director error. I can't tell if the English studio was more truthful to the manga. I don't know if it was a VA problem. I can check if like other things asked the VA voice. I'm not really sure what happened there in the studio. I don't think it was as bad with Yuno in terms of the direction, but it actually almost ruined the anime for me, on top of the other complaints. And it was like if you took Naruto when he was immature and just stripped him of everything that made him good and tolerable. Bread's comment. It reminded me of something at school, but anyways. What I want to say? But yeah, basically the point I'm trying to say is somehow the VA work is so drastically different that it somehow changes the characters completely, and the tone of the show Because Asta in this sub, I don't know if anyone watched the first few episodes with the Asta sub. It's almost like it feels like a fucking fever dream. The way that he speaks and the things that he says, even though it's somehow pretty similar to the dub, I don't know, it's really bad. It's yeah, I can't say much more about it. But this is one of the rare cases where the sub is almost intolerable because of the main character, to the point where some people wanted to drop the anime. That's my warning. So if my descriptions and my perceptions of what happened differ from anyone who watched the sub, please excuse me, because they're almost completely different characters in my opinion. It's not the play. I kept thinking it'll get better. I was like, okay, this is the director's way of saying that he's young and annoying right now, but he's gonna get better later. Yeah, that's what's happening. That was an intelligent director's pick. Hashtag noticing. But then I was like, oh, bro, the fuck is happening? And I switched to dub, and it was like a breath of fresh air. I found myself enjoying Asta on screen, which I didn't know was possible, because it's the same character, but not really. That's what I have to say. So, my perception of Asta in the beginning is a little rough. How did you tolerate that, Bread? I don't get it. But anyway, about episode 1, so my only complaints were that he's obviously a undeveloped lad. He is trying to marry a nun that is significantly older than him. And as they say over and over again, she's a lady of the cloth. And Asta doesn't like to take no for an answer, which he for some reason gets over later. But it's a really hard start to the show when you're trying to like the main character, and you're supposed to, and that's like who you're seeing the world through their eyes, and it's just some dude that like is annoying as fuck and insufferable and I don't know, harasses nuns. I guess. I think that's all I have to say about that. And then in 2 we get like, oh, also it's introduced like Asta and Yuno. Okay, the first episode, I thought that Yuno fucking hated Asta. For the rest of the show, this interaction doesn't remain. But you can see in their past, and leading up to the first episode, they're like best friends. They're the same age. They're like the only 2 older boys at the orphanage. They're best friends. They're brothers. Yada yada. They're family. And then after our first 3 episodes, it's like, you know, it's the same way. They're like, yeah, you're my brother. We have this healthy competition going on. But for some reason in the first 2 episodes, I literally thought that Yuno wanted Asta dead. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I don't know what happened. But Yuno has a personality, but in the first 2 episodes he doesn't, and his only personality is being this like really, really stoic, emotionless, strong thing that exists only as like a competitor to Asta, and not even in like a good way. Like I thought that he hated Asta for a while, and so I was really confused. I really wish I could find my like my anime list like review on it. I can't find it, but that was my impression. I was really confused still. I was like, are they brothers? Are they siblings? Because if they were brothers, maybe brothers act this way towards each other. But I wasn't really sure. And he also just seemed generally emotionless, and I literally thought Yuno was gonna become evil later. I was like, what the fuck? Like, dude, he hates everyone. He shows no emotion at all. And he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna become the king, but he had also shown no honorable emotions yet, aside from being superior to our main character. So I was like, okay, yeah, he's just a power-hungry, overpowered idiot, basically, is what I thought. So I can't tell if it was a director's choice. I haven't read the manga, as I said. But if anyone has, please let me know. But I thought that the first 3 episodes were definitely not the strongest, in my opinion. I'm not usually so critical of animes right away. I'm trying to be. I think this club makes me think about these things more. I think it's keeping my brain from rotting away. and I'm developing. I'm able to formulate what I want to say better. So that's so when I was watching it, I was like, it made me the thinker. I was thinking about what I wanted to say, and that's how I perceived it. But my opinion changes later. Don't worry. I'm gonna BRB. I might get more tea, but also I gotta go jizz, so I'll be right back. Two times! I was like, oh, I forgot I'm muted. Oh, I forgot I'm muted. I forgot to unmute twice. Alright. Anyways, kill yourself, Asta! Alright, not to sound like those like students that are like, oh yeah, and to piggy off that, I just wanted to discuss the combobulation in such a manner. But anyways, I'm trying to think, okay? I'm trying to present my high IQ. Because this is an anime that, I don't know. In Full Metal, when I was going over the episodes, I was just like, holy fucking shit, dude, this is peak! It's just non-stop peak! This one isn't quite non-stop peak, but there are some things I would like to dissect with it. So that's why I'm talking so much about little details. But anyway, when they get to the second episode, I think this is the episode where they show like their past, and they're like, oh yeah, they used to be really good friends. For whatever reason, they wrote, you know, to fucking hate his brother friend thing, and they get over it really fast. It's not really explained, aside from them being competitive with each other. I have no idea why they portrayed him this way. But it was kind of a rough start because there's this obvious motive throughout the show of like self-worth and like what you can accomplish, and also like your magic level and how important magic is, and also classism. There's a lot of motives going on here, but it all boils down to like worth of like a person, and like, oh, blah blah blah, this doesn't define you. And then right away, our main character that we're supposed to like be rooting for is portrayed as like pathetic and dislikable. I mean, maybe pathetic's okay to show the scale of his insecurities, especially when he's walking alongside, you know, into the place where they get their grimoires at the beginning. But it was just like, you know, seemed like he hated him, and Asta was acting really embarrassing the whole time, and everyone, like, it was like Asta couldn't even take himself seriously, I feel. And so it was kind of a rough start, so I feel like the show took a bit to find its footing. I'm not really sure why. But the vibes were really different. not in like a character development way either. Got your profile page on Mal. Is there apps going for the section to bring your reviews for me? Oh wait, I think you're right. I didn't think of that. Hold on, let me see what I said. I think I wrote this in a lecture too, before I forgot. Reviews, forum posts. Okay, I did a review in 1, 2, and 3. So let's see. I said. So my review on episode 1, I said, so Asta is a weirdo that likes to harass nuns? The episode was so predictable, it almost felt AI generated. I'm not very invested in the characters at the moment. Asta is annoying. That's what I said. And then so, episode 2. Black Clover reviews in the lecture. I know the guy next to me saw that shit too. I did not care. I was like the fucking... Okay, so this one's longer. So my complaints I had with episode 2 are... the first sentence is something that I have a complaint about for the entire series. Is that the first 5 minutes is a recap, and this is something that a lot of the other reviews brought up as well. And this is something I want to complain about for the entire series later. But for now, I was like, so the first 5 minutes is stuff we already saw at the end of the first episode, basically. And then the flashback happens to Asta and Yuna's past. And I said it's extremely hard to understand any of the characters' personalities, other than the cliches that have been shown. Is that Asta is short and loud and weak, and Yuno is the tall, overpowered friend that he's rivals with. But this wasn't clear in episode 1 because Yuno seemed like he hated Asta. And were they brothers or friends? I wasn't sure. All the orphans seemed to almost hate Asta as well. Even the head wizard couldn't even explain why Asta didn't get a grimoire. Do we never get any explanation for why he's so weak in the first place? I guess we do later, but... it didn't seem to be of concern since everyone was acting like this had never happened before. Nobody really seemed to give a shit that it had never happened before. Hi, Train Printer. So I was like, we never really get an explanation and nobody else seems to really care much. Aside from just making fun of him for this thing that's apparently so unnatural. And I said it's also unclear what time frame we're in or why the world is this way. And I'm assuming it's medieval / Middle Earth times based on some settings, but with some things it could be as recent as the 1900s. Not very good world building is what I said. I think, did I get into that in my third comment? I should leave these comments on every episode I watch, but that'd be crazy. Here, I know, they were just like, everyone fucking hated him. And and then so for episode 3, they get their grimoires, and then they go to the kingdom, I'm pretty sure, like the capital or whatever, to get their squads. And this is like, it also kind of continues like, the world building wasn't that good right away. And I believe episode 3 counts as a filler. I'm not really sure why, but it was marked a filler episode for whatever reason. Anyways, so I was like, so the first episode where we actually go out and explore the world is filler? Oh, what the hell? I'm usually not so grumpy. I don't know why I sound so serious in these comments. And I said, also the bird plot point was absolute bullshit. Okay, this is something I went off on a rant on in this comment, but basically, in episode 3, when they're going where all these new magicians have gone, magicians, wizards, whatever, they're going to get like sorted into their teams. There's this random plot point, and I knew the moment I saw this was never gonna come up again. It's just kind of stupid. But there were these birds hovering around everyone, and they were like, "Ugh, these stupid birds. Yeah, the weaker you are, the more birds hang around you. Oh, look at that guy. He's got so many birds. Whoa, look at that other guy. He's got no birds. Wow, he's so strong and that other guy's really weak. Wow, that's really interesting." And it's just never mentioned again. I knew it wouldn't be mentioned again either. And I was like, we get it, bro. We get it. Asta fucking sucks and everyone hates him. And it was just like spoon feeding the plot, and I was like, oh brother. And then so I was like, the bird plot point was absolute bullshit. Why create this random lore about birds that follow you the more weak you are, just to show how many birds Asta has on him, then never mention them again? Just say Asta was weak. So random. Does she know what that fucking bird that Asta always has on him? Is that one of them? But that part irked me. It seemed kind of goofy. It seemed like when you're trying to explain something in a story that you're forced to write for English class and you don't have any time, so you just throw some shit in there that shittily explains it. That's what it felt like. So I think that's all of my complaints about like this first group. I don't think... I think that's everything, and then Asta gets sorted out into his, like, his, I guess, I don't know what they're called, like, squad, I guess, his little fighting group. Yeah, squad. I'm out of water again, I chug that shit. I have a goose glass right now, but it's kind of little. I think Noelle gets introduced at this episode 6, if not later or sooner. It might be 7 actually. But yeah, that's episode 1 through 6. If anyone has anything else they want to say, feel free. I'm gonna get water again. I'm just so hydrated. Anyway, BRB. Sorry for going BRB twice in like 10 minutes. Okay. So because he's weak, these birds are just stalking and waiting for him to get wiped for food, or is it not that simple? What? Is that your explanation, or is that like your theory? It's because I got into this habit of like constantly chugging it when I was 16, and I just haven't been able to stop, but I pee all the time. It's so annoying. But I'm constantly hydrated. Anyways, so that's episode 1 through 6. It was a rough start. It took me a long time. There were characters that I liked. You know, Yuno's like a different character in the first few episodes. It's really weird because with Asta it's like a voice problem. With Yuno, that's just the way that he's portrayed. And I can't really, I don't know. It was really weird. And also he was drawn differently. They drew him really goofy the first few episodes. I know he kind of physically like grows up later. Someone mentioned, but it genuinely feels like looking at a different character. I don't know. Next. I think that's where like all of my shitty complaints end. I stopped being such an insufferable bitch now. Like how ravens are omens of death, but actually they're just waiting for death because of free food. Yeah, that might be it. Ichigo-senpai, I also love baby crocs, like baby crocodiles. Alright, so here's episode 7 through 12. Should I read the names? That was at Asta and Yuno, the voice promise. To the royal capital of the Clover Kingdom. Oh, I had something else I wanted to say about the section. To the royal capital of the Clover Kingdom. Yuno and Asta travel to the capital. It's a long journey, and I couldn't tell if it was like a rite of passage or something, but it kind of just seemed like it was an uncivilized society. I wasn't really sure at first. I had no idea like the state of the world. And also in the boy's promise flashback, there's like nobody else in that background. I don't know if this was just like a cheap choice, but when one of them's getting beat the fuck up in the snow, or both of them, there's just like nobody there. It feels like a very like static world at the beginning. I can't tell if they fix this later, but like later, when you go into like cities, there's like people all over the place. At the beginning, you only really see like our main characters and the people that matter to them. It felt really weird. So that might have contributed to my world building complaint. But I still was not sure like what time period it was meant to be and what like level of society we were at until way later. And even that, it's like, to me, good world building is like, I can vividly imagine myself in this world. I know what job I would be doing. I know what my day-to-day life would be like. And I know when and if I would ever run into the main characters in that world. At all. And what that would look like. That's like what good world building is. It's like, I just have to use Full Metal as an example because it's peak. It's peak constantly. But it's like, if you live in Central, there's like a whole society there. It's bustling. There's flower shops. There's ice cream trucks. You may or may not be an alchemist. You may or may not run into the main characters. For this, I wasn't really sure. I might just learn that later, but I feel like I understood that pretty early on. The details of how everything worked with like, because I guess alchemy could be comparable to magic here with the alchemy and everything. I felt like I understood it like 10 episodes in. I was like, okay, yeah, the reason this character can't do this is because this is why. I can explain why they can't do that to someone else. Here, if someone's like, oh, I can't do that, I'm just like, why? What do you mean? This is sometimes what it'd be like to live in DBZ. Living in fear of another galactic threats that can destroy the Earth. Dude, I felt so bad when Cell was blowing up islands and it showed the people on one of the islands and there was just this black man looking up at the sky and he died. That made me so sad. I mean, everyone else on the island died too, but for some reason that just rocked me to my core as a kid. That was a brutal scene. No, I don't think those people ever came back. Exactly, I know. There's just like never a moment of peace, and like all of the other like dimensions are fucked, aren't they? Just existing, powerless, hopeless. All right, that's all my complaints about that section. I think I'm done there. So episode 7 through 20. No, what the fuck? 22. 2012. Did they not just wish the people back to life with the Dragon Balls? I don't remember if that... Are they allowed to make those wishes? Because, like... Whenever they bring someone back, it's always, like, a specific person. They can't... Because that's why they have to go find them again. They're like, sorry, we can only bring back one person. I thought... Anyways. I could be wrong. But in this... This might be where the synopsises get jumbled. I don't think so. But yeah, Asta begins settling into life with the Black Bulls. That's his squad name. Bonding with his quirky squadmates, while training hard to keep up with their powerful magic alongside Noelle and Magna. He undertakes his first mission to a remote village plagued by a mysterious dungeon appearance. There he encounters Yuno and his Golden Dawn teammates, setting up a tense but friendly rivalry as both squads race to explore the dungeon riches. The mission quickly turns deadly when enemy mages from the Diamond Kingdom launch an attack, forcing Asta and Yuno to fight for survival despite the overwhelming odds. The two showcase their growing strength, Yuno displaying his unmatched magical control, and Asta proving the might of his anti-magic sword. These episodes highlight the harsh reality of their world, while showing that both boys are beginning to carve their paths towards becoming Wizard King. So yeah, they both want to be the Wizard King. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they're both just like, it's gonna be me, it's gonna be me. And I think it's 7 where Noelle is introduced. And then we've got Go first mission, Beast, Go Super Tucked. I think I forgot the W here. I think this is just what happened on a certain day in the castle town. And then the Wizard King saw. The Wizard King gave me like corrupt king vibes. I don't know if I'm wrong there. He creeped me out at first. Now I think he's okay. And I think I don't have anything to say yet. Let me think. There was like they went to that town, and then like it was it whose town was it? It was someone's town in Asta's squad. The guy with like the glasses, I think, or like he has his hair kind of slicked back, and he's really loud. And beasts, I think they like attack this small village, and then that's when like someone dies for the first time. And also Noelle can't fucking aim at all. Wiz King. Rough first impressions all around. Yeah, at episode 9, when the first death happened, I was just like, yeah, that sucks, but I was just, I didn't feel the stakes yet, if that makes sense. To me, it was just like, it was hinted that it was a bigger problem, but I was like, oh, it's just some crazy magic person. Because there's like another motive of just like selfishness as well, I think. And every time there's like an evil person attacking anything here, even if they're working for someone else, they're always like, I'm doing this for this thing, for me. So at first I was like, oh, that's why they're doing this. There's no bigger picture. I mean, I figured there was, but that's like, at first I was just like, oh, it's fine. It's not that big a deal. And then Asta gets this little bird, and then they go in that underground, like, trading black market, I think. And then we get this really fun guy with the headband on the right here. Haha. He is funny. At first I didn't like him at all. He grew on me a lot. A lot of people grew on me a lot here. Ironically, it was like a lot of side characters. So there's that, and then episodes 13 through 18. That, like, I think that dungeon fight, because there's an attack there. I think that dungeon fight lasts like a while. Or not dungeon. Or wait, yeah, dungeon. Are the dungeon and the black market the same? Am I remembering this right? Is it just because they're both underground? I cannot tell. Oh, I have my headset fucked up. There we go. Okay. Is that an like a get a load of this guy or like a, I don't know, I'm debating grabbing my big ass jar of olives. But I have a tummy ache right now. But it sounds so good. But then I'll just have to start moaning on the mic. Anyways. I think we've been introduced to the Wizard King by now. He's also stalking them, which was kind of an interesting subplot. So I'm freaking stupid. I don't know, because I thought that was just the same fight all along. I thought that's what that was, and then I thought they were in a black market, but now it's like it's a dungeon. I think I just like thought they were the same. Either way, both of those fights lasted really, really long. I think through all of these episodes, I could be wrong. We get a little bit of lore on this smiling freak here. And then they beat the bad guys for this fight. The fights in this anime last a little longer than I wish they would because the fighting animations are not as cool as the ones in Full Metal, unfortunately. That's my only complaint. The sense where I started to feel like the world was fleshed out was when Yuno went back to visit his past town, his hometown, his orphanage. And when it was like, Yuno and Asta both send money back to the orphanage, it really like, humanified the both of them. That the world building. What the fuck am I saying? That it's a location that exists continuously in the story and isn't just forgotten about just for like plot, and they go back and revisit it, was nice to see. Because I see tragic, semi-depressing backstories just get like left behind in a lot of shows and animes. So it was nice having this constant reminder of like, here's where we came from, we think about it a lot, we send money there, that's why we're working so hard, that's where our money goes, and we're gonna go visit. And here's the culture around it, here's what food we like to eat, here's what our town looks like, here's what the people from other places think of our town. That was good world building in my opinion. That's where I started to be like, okay, that's good, not so bad. Yeah, humanizes. They do the switch to another plot mid-fight if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think they do. Especially in the final fight. That was really weird. Dude, I have such a tummy ache right now, but I really want the olives. But then I couldn't chow down on it mid-meeting. That's not very professional. And then we've got episodes. Wait, did I read this? I did not! After surviving the dungeon, Asta and Yu's reputations begin to grow, drawing the attention of both allies and enemies. The Black Bulls are then dispatched to protect the bustling royal capital, where they are caught in a large-scale attack led by the mysterious Eye of the Midnight Sun. Feast! You're snacking on olives again, they're so good! Asta fights fiercely alongside his squad mates, holding his ground against powerful enemies despite his lack of magic, while Yuno demonstrates his own rapid growth and determination. During the chaos, the true threat of the terrorist group comes into focus, leaving Clover Kingdom shaken by the scale of their power. Amid the destruction, Asta's courage and refusal to back down earns him recognition, both from his peers and the Magic Knights as a whole, proving that his dream of becoming Wizard King might not be as impossible as it once. I had something I wanted to say about the Wizard King, but I forgot. I just ate a Greek salad filled with olives. Oh, that sounds fucking baller. I think what I want to say is in the next row. Is this feast? Wait. I think we're good. I think it's later. Wait, no, it's here. Episodes 19 through 24. In the aftermath of the capital's attack, Asta's determination catches the eye of important figures, but the danger, singular, to the Clover Kingdom is far from over. The Black Bulls are soon tasked with another mission, this time involving a mysterious cursed girl named Nish? Nyege? Nish? Which one? Nyege? Nage. And a ruthless mage named Barrow. I do not remember jack shit about both of these people. Let me think if I can remember. Nigel. I don't see an L there though. I see Nige. I've had to say I'm not so scared of words that look like this anymore, because I had to repeat Kanyega over and over again in Russian class the other day. I just had to keep going Kanyega, Kanyega, Kanyega in front of everyone, and everyone else was saying it too, and I'm just desensitized. L is silent because they never lose. Did I just like forget the name? Is it this like red-haired guy? Why am I blanking? You have developed a tolerance to pronouncing it vaguely similarly. Who exploit children? Wait, wait. Is this who made that white-haired dude? Is that who I'm thinking of? For their own twisted experiments. Asta and his squad mates step in to protect the victims, showcasing their unorthodox teamwork and unshaken justice. Meanwhile, the sinister eye of the midnight sun continues to move in the shadows, hinting at larger threats to come. Despite still being underestimated by many, Asta's grit, compassion, and refusal to abandon others strengthen the Black Bull's reputation, while also bringing him closer to his goal of proving himself worthy of the Wizard King's path. I do the same. I don't know if you do it the same way I do it. There's this like mini plot of Noelle and what's her name? Is it just Barrow? The curly haired girl that's on Yuno's team with the healing magic, that they were friends or something when they were younger. And then the assembly at the royal capital I have complaints about, because they met the Wizard King. The Wizard King was nice to them, he liked them, right? And then they go to this dinner where there's like nobody supervising them, and Noelle just gets like berated by her siblings. It's really, really weird, and it's really, really shitty. It's shittily written because it feels like it was written by a kid that's just trying to make like the most evil, sad scene possible, and it's just so ridiculous that it just doesn't stick. So Noelle's just chilling, and then her one of her brothers just like pours water on her head, and she's just like, "Why would you do this?" As if they haven't hated her since she was a kid. I don't know why she asked that, because it was very clear that this is not a new conflict or emotion. But there was still this like fake sense of shock from Noelle to further amplify the oh so sad scene that's supposed to be sad to be sad. And they're all just like, "Oh, you fucking suck. You're just a disgrace to this family. We hate you." And wasn't killing our mother enough? It was just so ridiculous. I was like, oh, slow down, edgelord. We get it, bro. They don't like her. They're mean. And then everyone just like starts fighting almost, and nobody really steps into that anyway. And they've been mean to her since she was a kid, and it's really silly, and I can't really take it seriously when it comes on the screen. And just all of the nobles, there's like a reoccurring thing where just all of the nobles act that way. There's a lot of classism, but it's on a cartoonish level. It's not really like even like natural sounding, and I can't really tell if they're royal, like part of the royal family, or if they're just nobles, if they're just like lords and ladies, descendants of. But yeah, that happened. And then there's conflict at the capital. There's more people trying to like kill. There's like 2 different battles happening. It's interesting. And then they beat them, and it's fine. And then there's like this constant like mention of like the group that the people are working for. But I just didn't care, bro. I could not care less, because for whatever reason, I was more invested in the world building and what the characters were up to than the actual magic conflict going on for a while. So when that happened, I didn't really care. I don't know. But there are other cooler fights later, in my opinion. And then we have 25 through 30. And I think, dungeon raid. Did they raid another dungeon, or did I fuck up the synopsis here? I'm not sure. But anyway, this this synopsis kind of sucks. There is like this like vague internal conflict happening. I'm not really sure. I don't remember much about it. There's a lot of themes going on. There's a lot of things happening. And it's kind of jumbled. I feel like it's not executed to the best extent. But there's like some sort of internal conflict that's hinted at. And that's all I have to say about it. I'm pretty sure that's where what happens here. And then, let me think. Anything else I want to say here? There was something I wanted to say about episode 20. I think I already said that. Never mind. And then 35. No, we're not at 35 yet, we're at 30, my bad. So here I don't have much to say, other than this dude that loves his sister gets to visit her. It's never explained why he's so weird towards her, because we get a backstory for him. He gets nosebleeds for his sister, and at first I was like, oh, she's an older sister. She's like 6 or like 7. She's like a child, like prepubescent. And I think he said he wants to marry her. I have no idea. It's never explained why he's like that. It explains why he's protective of her and why he's all she has. It's not explained why he became a freak. That's not explained at all. So I feel like they kind of murked his character. I feel like they could have had this semi-toxic explanation, semi-psychological explanation for it, but they didn't. They just made him a freak for no reason. And up till like way later, he's really dislikable. Because he's so unrealistic and unrelatable, and it makes no sense. For a long time. Other than that, that's what's going on in the capital. And then there's like this mentality of like, even the strongest warriors, where everyone just shows up and they're like, you got injured fighting till the death? You're pathetic. You might as well have been killed when you were born. I'm just like, come the fuck on. It's so unrealistic that the entire kingdom would have such a mentality when so many people, because the people argue against it every time. They're like, but they fought bravely. So it's not like this is a new concept that you just shouldn't say that you're glad that people die. But people do it anyways. And it's really weird. And it gets really old. This constant, like, reiteration of, yeah, the rich people are evil. You should just die if you can't fight, because magicians are better anyway. And if you're not a good magician, well, then you should die too. Not even if you're not a good magician, just if you lose an arm, if you get knocked out, well, we might as well just kill you right here. It's really weird. It's really odd, because isn't the whole point of, like, the magician, like, military to defend all those weak people anyways? I'm not really sure. But that's a reoccurring point. And then we get into this really cool fight here, where the children are kidnapped, the incest guy's sister's kidnapped. Wait, hold on, back here. Over here, I think in episode 23 or 24 or 25, there is some fucking body horror that I didn't even put on the screen. I should have, but let me describe what I saw, okay? So they're fighting this guy. I have a picture of him. He's this guy that's all bandaged up in episode 22 here. He does this spell. And he says, like, say hi to Alfred or something, bro. And the Alfred in question is this fucking dude that's like an amputee. He has no legs past his knees and no arms. And he's in this fucking like metal straitjacket. And you can't see his face. I don't even know if he's alive. And he's just like moaning and groaning in there. Pretty scarily. And he's also radiating electricity. And they battle Alfred. And Alfred's just, you know, spewing electricity everywhere. It's like, I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? Because it was so fucking scary. And he gets fucking annihilated. It's never explained what the fuck we just saw. It's never touched on again. If that was a real person or just like a little puppet that the magician made. And why he was fucking levitating. It was like some shit out of the Russian sleep experiment on Roblox, bro. It was insane. And it was on the screen for no longer than 3 minutes. I was like, what the hell? It made me uncomfortable. And Alfred gets like disintegrated later. I was like, did you name him Alfred? Was he a person named Alfred? Is the spell named Alfred? I didn't know what the fuck was happening. But Alfred goes bye-bye. And then this guy is just like, Alfred, no! It's never touched on again. I was like, what the fuck just happened? So there's that. I would have preferred that never happened at all. That was kind of crazy. So what reminded me of that is this dude, this evil guy here in episode 32 gets injected by this weirdo that's biting Asta in 33. And he just starts oozing brown shit from his eyes and mouth. And he turns into a brown blob. It was so scary. But yeah, there's this really hot white-haired guy, not the guy pictured here, that kidnaps kids. And they just start sucking the magic out of the kids. And then they have to fight those people. And then their leader shows up. And they fight this white-haired guy. And that was like the coolest fight in the series. And then the sister lover becomes useful for once. And we get to see his backstory. And this was probably the best arc. And there's also this red-haired girl that has a crush on Asta. And Mimosa has a crush on Asta. And Noelle has a crush on Asta. At the same time. But nobody makes a move. And I get tired of it. Why there's three girls that like him, I'm not sure. I wish it was just like 2, that'd be funner. But I don't know if this red-haired girl is ever addressed again. She might come back later, I'm not sure. But that's that. Oh my gosh, the facial proportions on this 38? Kind of weird. Anyways, so we have episode 37 through 32. I don't think I have anything I want to say about that. But one of the complaints I have that goes through the entire show is that it does a recap at the beginning of every episode. On the first episode, it's like blah blah blah. There was a monster. The mage defeated it. There's the lore of the show. And then it does... That's it, right? And then the next episode, it did that 5-minute recap. It basically just replays what happened in the last 5 minutes of the last episode. And people were complaining about it on my anime list, like, why did it just show us? It wasted 5 minutes of our time to show us what we already saw. That never goes away. That's a thing that happens continuously, and they still give you a recap episode. They give you the filler episode where it just basically just recycles animation and just goes over everything that's happened up so far. To me, it's like either one or the other, preferably neither. And it's like, because when you're doing like fucking 5-minute intros, you're waiting a week to basically watch 15 minutes of a show, not even 20, 25, whatever. And there's one episode I counted. The intro, the recap intro was 7 minutes long. So I'm like, oh great, I waited a week, if you're waiting for this to release and not streaming it, for 12 minutes of your anime. That's rough. I don't know why they love doing this. And I think it would have shortened the episode count if they hadn't done it this way. It's really weird. But there's a boring ass recap at the beginning of every episode that is at least 5 minutes long on average. It gets better at some episodes, but they keep it this way for a while. For most of the episodes. And it's rough. I don't know why they did that. Void One Piece, what the fuck? That sounds insufferable. Is that why it's so long? Anyways, that's my complaint for that. And then we meet these other evil people, this pink-haired girl. I think the battle continues over here. We meet this like black-haired guy in the teal scarf here. And I think that the English VA casting did him a little dirty. They kind of make him sound like Virgil, but like not quite. And then we get a beach episode after all of the fighting. And the beach episode was fun. It was fun seeing everyone interact. Noelle has a crush on Asta at this point. And then they meet like this like water person. At first I thought she was a mermaid or like a nymph or like what are they called, a siren? I wasn't really sure. But they meet this water girl and she's singing. And then they start this like boss battle. And I think this is the start of the final battle in the anime. And then it's revealed later. There's like a bunch of shit happening, like the leader of their squad gets stuck in this other dimension with this old man who's watching the fight like a TV. And this evil creature thing arrives. And then everyone's like, let's stop fighting each other and fight this other thing. And then Noelle's sad because her mage friend, or not her mage friend, her like mermaid singer friend, she has to fight, but not for very long. And also her hair is red for some reason here. It was blue earlier. And this fight lasts a while. This whole thing is the same fight, I think. And it was dramatic. Like, I was rooting for things, but it wasn't... I beg to differ. Fullmetal Alchemist's final fight, like actual fight, lasted maybe, if you look at it broadly, like 3 episodes for the actual fist fighting of the final episode. Dare I say. So for a fight like this to stretch so long, it irks me. But it wasn't horrible. I just don't get why animes think that, like, the longer the better. I think this whole thing could have been done in like 30 episodes, maybe 40. If not the original standard of like 25. Dare I say. But that point aside, the final fight was pretty cool. It was really cool seeing Asta, how strong he got. And it was nice seeing Noelle get character development. And everyone got more powerful. And also the leader of their squad is really, really cool. So I think that's all I have to say about this part. Also, my cat is swirly asleep behind me right now. He's been asleep behind me for like 2 hours. Alright, and then here's the final 2 episodes. So, they finished the final battle, I think, either in 48 or 49. And then 50 is kind of like this, like, Seki and Sick, his dub is so cool. And then at the end, it's kind of like a recovery episode. Where, like, they're in the hospital, they're like, yeah, I'm so glad that we beat it. At first, I was kind of worried that the cutoff would be awkward. I didn't know how smooth the transition was from like season 1 to season 2. I didn't know if it was rough like Attack on Titan. So I was kind of scared that it wouldn't wrap everything up from this arc. But it did. It wrapped it up pretty nicely. There was pretty good development there. I was really hoping that Noelle's family being really stereotypically evil, stuck-up annoying people would be corrected after that first dinner thing. They really could have made it a subplot of just older siblings that grew up resenting their younger sister just for the mother's death, but they didn't. They chose to make them more mad that she has powerful magic but can't aim. More mad about that than they are about her mother dying. So they fucked that up, and then that was never really fixed later. They come back, they come and save the main cast like a second time, and then they just go back to being dicks and dislikable. And I don't know why that happened. I wish that shit was nipped in the bud right away. So that's my complaint about the episodes here. But I think that the ending was really nice. It was really cute seeing Noelle make a friend. And both of them kind of like hang out together as misfits with Noelle and Asta. And that summarizes 1 through 50, I guess. I'm gonna get more water again and send your thoughts about that. Anything else you want to say about it in the chat. While I'm gone, I'll be back. I'm sorry, I went to get water and then I was out of water, so I had to wait for my like filter water thing pipe to fill my cup, and it took a while. And now I have olives and water. I'm back. Sorry to be gone so long. Thank you, MP. We could have gone hot anime man. My bad, guys. Why are you so apologetic? It was still like a good anime. Like I'm gonna rewatch it pretty promptly. Hold on, I gotta take a bite of the olive. It's been so long. Let me take my rubber band out. Nerdy girl ASMR takes out her rubber bands before blowing you. Alright, live olive reaction. I'm so excited. It's been like 3 days since I've had olives. Alright, going in. Oh my god. This is so good, bro. The jar I'm holding right now is like gargantuan, guys. I just can't get enough. Cause when I got a normal sized jar, it wasn't enough. It's 1 pound. I'm holding 1 pound of olives with just a spoon in front of my computer. Come on, let's get another one. So good. It's so fucking good. It's better than water. It's better than water. In fact, I'm gonna just chug this shit right now. Give me that juice. Ah. Oh my god. I've been freaky recently because usually I'd eat one olive at a time. But recently I've just been grabbing like dinner spoons and just shoveling spoonfuls of olives into my mouth with the juice on the spoon too. Ugh. So fucking good. It's so good. It's so good. I have lotion on my dick. I'm stroking my dick right now. Anyways. The notes I wrote down what I wanted to say. There were hot anime in here, don't you worry. I wanted to ask, like an English teacher, do you guys think that there were any reoccurring themes or motifs here that I may have not caught? Because I felt like it was kind of spoon-fed to us, but the motifs and themes I felt that the show was portraying was classism, self-worth, in perception of others, of people being like, worried about what other people thought of them, really worried about what they thought of other people, of status, of how valuable you are as a person. I feel like those were constantly reoccurring in different ways. And also, I wanted to ask, did anyone have a favorite scene from the anime? Okay, my favorite scene that I wrote down was during a fight in episode 35, where the evil people were like, oh, blah, blah, blah. This country's evil, there's rich people, there's poor people, it's evil, we're gonna destroy it, or something. And Yami, in the dub, was like, so you're hurting people who don't deserve it. And yeah, it's kind of dumb, is what he said. Any Yami line? Actually, there was one where Asta said something, and Yami was like, I'm gonna kill you. And Asta said, oh. And then the episode just ended. Asta appeared and said, it's Asta time. And Asta on everyone. Asta. I'm taking an olive break. What are the ingredients in this? Cocaine? Manza. There's a hair on the jar. There's a hair on the jar. No, no, no. Oh, cool, Colossosaurus. manzanilla olives, water, minced pimento, salt, lactic acid, sodium alginate, guar gum, calcium chloride, potassium sorbate. I don't know what the fuck that is, but that sounds like something I got to drink right away. Oh, fuck. It's like ASMR. He's stroking my olive jar. My 1 pound of olives that I'm gripping with my hand. It's so good. It's so good. Oh. Oh, God. Alright. I'll lock in. I won't get too distracted. You'll have to hold on, my love, my darling. I'll eat you soon, don't worry. I just want to stick a straw in it, bro. I just need to chug that shit. I had a problem when I was a kid where I would chug the juice in the olive jar and there'd be no more juice left. Same with pickles. Anyways. I wanted to ask also, what were you guys' opinions on the opening and endings? Did you think that there was any peak or was it pretty boring? And also the art style. I wasn't the biggest fan of the art style. There was a design choice that I particularly liked and thought was great, which was giving a majority of the men piercings. I thought that was fucking terrific. I thought that was great. I wish every single anime would do this forever, for the rest of humanity, all the time, forever. I think that's a great design choice that you can never go wrong with. I think that men having piercings makes them 50% more tolerable, if not 90% more tolerable in every context. And they just look better that way. And I think it adds a lot to the anime, in my opinion. I haven't seen the show in 5 years. I see. So whenever I think of if I like the art style in the anime and the design choices, I think of the men with the piercings. And I really like that. My last question is, would you change anything about the plot or the way that the show was executed? To me, despite it being a domestic battle, very similar to Full Metal, it is somehow more boring. Somehow. And I think I wish that there were more real locations instead of just random caves somewhere. This might have just been a cheap out decision because we had our first battle in this like underground dungeon that was basically just like a rock room with brick walls. The caves, everything fucking happened in a cave somewhere just constantly. We never left the caves. In other animes, it feels like you're really in the world. Here, it's like this whole cave could get blown the fuck up and nobody in the capital would care or be affected by it. Nothing would happen. In Full Metal, there would be like fights and shit. You could see civilians fleeing and frolicking around. Things like that. There were actual stakes. And here it's just like, only our main characters are at threat and we know that they're not gonna lose anyways. Gah. I think they could have done more with the theme. Yeah, me too. I was surprised with how stereotypical and cliche it was that we didn't get a random like main character death. I was so certain with how big the cast of supporting characters is that nobody died. There was like this like tension that maybe it'll happen. I thought for sure that we were gonna get some deaths. And I'm not like someone that's like, yeah, kill off the main characters. I hate when they do that for no reason. But I feel like in a show like this where the stakes just aren't really stakes because everyone is already good at like fighting, and all they have to do is have a random flashback to like their childhood, and then all of a sudden they can fight perfectly. And if that doesn't work, then Yami shows up and it's fine. It's like, I feel like it wouldn't have been bad pacing to give us a death. And after the sister incest dude, they won the fight, and then the leader showed up and threw those arrows at it was like right when Asta was at this like minor evil side character's cave, and he was like, oh yeah, we can be friends, we'll get along well. The guy agrees, he gets fucking pelted in the back and falls over. I was like, oh, he's dead. Did he die there? They kind of brushed over that because everyone else survived, but I really wanted him to keep being in the show. That's like another thing. That could have been an interesting plot point, is if they took this formerly evil guy into their team. But they killed him right away. For shock value there. They weren't scared of the shock value there. Did I turn my BGM up? No, I didn't. Oh, I did! Sorry. They weren't scared of the shock value there. And then everyone's looking, trying to see where like this arrow shit came from, and then the incest guy gets pelted in 2 different places, and he falls over, and then the nun sacrifices herself for Asta and gets fucking pelted. And I was like, oh shit, that's just like 3 deaths right away. I was like, oh, it's getting interesting now. Nope. Like, I think only the evil guy died, or he just didn't come back. And then with the sister guy, they were like, oh yeah, it just barely missed 2 of your vital organs. I was like, what the fuck? The fuck is happening? Did he come back? I feel like I saw him again, but I'm also not sure. And since they missed that, I really thought that like, when the guy was gripping Noelle's friend at the end, that her friend was just gonna have to take one for the team. I really thought that her friend was gonna die there. Or that in that final fight that someone was gonna die. So it's like I feel like no sacrifices were made at all. Asta got his arm broken, I think, but that's like it. So to me, it's like there wasn't anything lost, and there weren't any risks, in my opinion. So fucking good. Do you guys think I can get sponsored by Lindsay Olives? Perfecting for 4 generations. Thank you, Lindsay. These are fucking great. I wish I could get sponsored by like brands I promote all the time, because I'm autistic and eat the same things over and over. If I could get like a collab with like an olive brand, a pickle brand, a yogurt brand, or like some sort of like disability aid brand, that would be like my dream, bro. I'd be so fucking happy. Till then, thank you, Lindsay Pimento Olives. A person could only dream each year. I feel like that's a reasonable goal, right? If I just email them, I'm like, hey, can I just get like the permission to be like officially partnered with you and just promote these olives on my own money? Cause I will, trust, they're fucking good. These are the greatest olives ever. They're my favorite brand. It's so hard to find olives with the perfect texture and perfect juice and brine. Oh, they're so good. I got this jar a week ago, and I've only eaten out of it twice, and it's already half empty, over half empty. The first time I got a really bad tummy ache, but we're not going to talk about that because that was on an empty stomach. I ate like 100 olives. More than that, probably. Anyways, but yeah, those are my thoughts on how I would change the writing of the show. I wish they kind of let the way that the characters were acting control how the story went, because it kind of felt like there was no process of going from one place to another either. It was just kind of like, boom, we're here. Boom, we're in the capital. Boom, we're underground in some cave somewhere. Boom, we're here. Boom, we're here. Yeah, we gotta fight this guy. Oh, it's over. Boom, we're here. Like, it just felt like they were being pushed around by the author or the director, in my opinion. And it might get better later. I don't know. I've started it, so I'm gonna finish it. But that's how I feel about it. Let me know if anyone else relates. I don't regret my time watching it though, I'll make that clear. It's a proud like I'm proud to say that I watched it. I'm proud to put it on my anime list. Rack up my anime days with it. The American Dream, yeah. And next, I haven't watched the new season maybe now. I think, are there 3? I thought it was, I could be wrong. Next, I'll go into characters. And we're gonna share our opinions on the characters in depth. So first, Asta. As I said, I pretty much went over it earlier. Him and the sub and the dub are completely different people. But he is a really, really likable pro tag. Very, very cool whenever he does come in and, like, I guess, do something that you don't expect of him. Like when he blocked that final blast at Noelle in the final battle. It was really, really cool. You're so good. None. If you don't watch the dub, I think he's a likable pro tag. I mean the sub. The dub does him better than the sub. And he's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what happens of him, what he becomes. Next, Noelle. I don't know if my picture's too small. The text picture. Noelle, annoyed me a lot when she showed up. That's probably the point, but I really thought she was gonna keep that personality. It was kind of seeming like it, but she has really, really sweet character development without completely nuking who she is as a person. And she is really, really cool. I do wish the text, let me see if I can make it bigger. It says, "Where are you? I'm coming home. Fucking piece of shit." And then she's typing. I don't know why his eyes are glowing there though. I wish that they touched on her, because obviously she seems more sad about her siblings being mean to her. More than the fact that their fucking mother died allegedly because of her, and she never really touches on being sad about that specifically. And I really feel like they could have built off the characters way more. Because I've had friends who their mothers died giving birth to them, and that's like a thing that sticks with them forever. And it's never. I'm assuming that that's what they're talking about with her. If not, just if other people are saying you caused your mom's death, that still sticks with you. But she seems more upset that her siblings are mean to her as opposed to the actual mother thing in the first place. I feel like they could have done more with that. But for what we're handed, Noelle was done pretty well. Gah. They're so good. I miss my sensitive mic so you guys could hear me just fucking smacking away. Sorry you guys can't hear me swallow and chew. I know all the misophonia people here want that so badly. Next, you know grew on me because I really didn't like him at first. I really tried, and I didn't. And now he became a really likable character. They redrew him, I think. They redesigned him slightly, but he looked kind of interesting in the first few episodes. And really strange. I don't know if it was like a studio choice, but they fixed it pretty quickly. But basically this little tuft of hair you see at the top of his head here, and these two pictures going up, that was fucking humongous. Like, that was huge in the first few episodes. And he looked very, very, like, I don't know. He looked interesting. His appearance changed in some manner throughout the show. I just don't know what it was. And also his personality, because he was really dickish at the beginning. But he wasn't dickish before or after the beginning. I don't know. Yeah, fine shit. I think people read this as fine shit. I thought this was meant to be fine shoddy. I thought that was like an abbreviation for shoddy. In the AAVE manner that I know it from. But yeah, I like, you know, now. I didn't like him at first. I was kind of neutral on him. And then there's a lot of supporting characters. I didn't make a page for all of them, so here's just some of them. If you guys have anything else, I read it as shoddy. Do I'm not alone? I read it as shite! I read it as just fine shite, yeah. Now, if you have anything else you would like to say about the supporting cast and what you think, feel free. Now, gah! I'm trying so hard not to guzzle this brine right here, bro. I do wish that Asta spent more time, kind of like the boot camp arc in Attack on Titan, where we got to like hang out with the characters casually. I feel like there was almost like no time to actually hang out casually and get to know people in a natural setting. We were just constantly like at war and having flashbacks. Especially with this goth guy, like he's there, and he kind of looked like he'd be a more, I guess, a vocal character, metaphorically speaking, but he's just kind of like there. I don't remember seeing him fight very much. And cut through dimensions. It was pretty cool. I think this guy in the middle is the one that's always smiling. I'm actually not sure if I picked the right dude. But I almost choked on the olives. That would have been so embarrassing. I swallowed so hard. I was getting too riled up. I liked the pink-haired drunk witch lady's backstory. I thought that it was very nicely told. That's all I have to say about those. And then we got our fine shites. We've got the incest man, because when he's not being a freak, he looks very nice, and his voice is very nice. And then we got my bae, my oomph, my man with black piercings. I'm so sad that he fucks up his hair. I saw how his new hair is. I hate it. They should have just kept him this way forever. And I feel like we don't see him enough, even though his favorite line is, "But I'm your superior." He's just not here really at all. It makes me so sad. But they're so great. You hate everyone. No, I don't. I love these two at the same time. And that's all I have to say about the characters. Anyone else? Should I take another bite of the olives? Dare I? Or do I want to like almost choke again like last time? They're so good. Has anyone else raw dogged olives before, or am I just like a weirdo? I've been doing this since I was a kid. I also do just have like a salt deficiency though. That's probably why. I would just like, I'd be like begging to drink it. I'd be like, "Please, mother, let me drink it. I need it." She'd be like, "You're such a freak. What are you doing?" It's just the salt, bro. I desire the salt. Only eat them on pizza. I love green olives on a pizza, bro. Eat pickled, bro. Dare I say olives are better? Cause pickles, it really depends on the brand, right? A good pickle is good as fuck, but if you get the wrong brand, bro, that shit is almost sweet. And I don't like sweet pickles. But olives, bro, you cannot fuck up olives. Alright. Continuing on from the characters. Because I know we started an hour late and everyone wants to leave this school. Nobody wants to be at school till 11:07 p.m. at night. So I'll wrap it up so we can all get out of this old building that we're in while everyone's gone, and then we'll come back here tomorrow to school, the school that we go to. Half the stuff in my fridge is olives are way too perfect. I had so many pickled shit in my fridge in Japan. I love olives. Alright, so from our characters onto our fun fact. The fun fact is that Gray's true form was revealed way earlier than the last few episodes. So this was revealed, I think, in episode 11. She is running from the bathroom, hiding her face here. Gray's reveal was very cute, I thought. It was fun to see her. It was fun to see how she acts when she's like in disguise, because her big like gluttony form was very quiet. I'm so tired. Go to bed, bro. But yeah, that's the fun fact. And then we're gonna go on to the voting for next week. And I think I need to pull up my wheel to spin. Let me see if I have it saved. Spin the wheel. So for those who are new, we are going to vote on what we're going to do next week. And I put 3 anime options. 1 from this season, 1 from the most popular animes list, and then 1 retro anime. Retro meaning older than 5 years old. So pre-2020. And it's to help us see animes that we might not know or maybe underrated. And then I have a 4th slot, and I just have everything from like games to chat, picking one to vote on, etc. So I'm gonna pull up the wheel, and then we're gonna spin that to see what else to put on the poll. But I'm gonna go over our options first, and I'm gonna spin the wheel to see what we have. And a reminder, the theme as picked by the Game Night's winner, second place winner, is fantasy. So all of these animes fall under the fantasy category. And our first anime is Tokyo Ghoul. I hope I picked cool ones, let me know. But I picked Tokyo Ghoul. This is our popular anime, or anime on like the top lists right now. Kind of constantly. It is 12 episodes, it is summer 2014, rated R, and it has a 7.79 on my anime list. I don't know what the fuck happened, I haven't seen it. I thought it was good, but it has a lower rating than Black Clover. But this was like one of the animes back then, they were like, you've got to watch this, bro. You've got to watch it. So I think it's weird seeing it, because 7 rating is like average, right? Must win. It's 12 episodes, so if this one wins, it gives us a break from the longer animes. But I feel like after we watch Full Metal and Black Clover in 2 weeks each, it's gonna make these ones look like light work, bro. It's gonna be like light work, no reaction. But anyways, so here's the synopsis. A shy college student, Ken Kanagi, you probably haven't heard of him, nearly dies after being attacked by a ghoul named Riza. To save him, doctors transplant her organs into his body, turning him into a half-ghoul. Struggling with his new identity, Kaneki is forced to navigate the violent conflict between humans, ghouls, and the government agents who hunt them. It sounds very cool. Kinda reminds me of Chainsaw Man. This was like the anime back in the day. I know it's pretty small now, nobody ever talks about it. But I haven't watched it yet. So I put this here for the popular anime. You heard it's good, but I've heard some people don't like animes. The animes and names specifically. Isn't this just season 1? And then it took forever to get a season 2, and then the season 2, everyone looks super different because season 2 came out in like 2020. That's what I remember. I could be wrong. But yeah, very iconic. So that's my nomination for popular anime. For the popular anime for this week's options. And then, for a retro anime, this is From the New World, 25 episodes, all 2012. Rated R again, and 8.25 on my anime list. I haven't heard of this before, so I tried to pick something that was kind of like new that probably nobody heard of. Because I keep smacking my mic, I'm sorry. Because I do like to give lesser known, less popular animes a try. So here's the synopsis. In a future where humans wield psychic powers called Cantus, Saki Watanabe joins Sage Academy along with her friends, only to notice unsettling disappearances among weaker students. When they encounter strange mole-like beings called monster rats, who worship psychics as gods, Saki begins questioning their society. As the group searches for answers, they uncover that their seemingly ideal world has a disturbing and dangerous past. The art for this looks very, very pretty. It looks really interesting. So that's my retro nomination for the voting, for the fantasy category. This one probably has... Yeah, I think it has like 2 or 3. I could be wrong. And then for my nomination for this season, I picked Betrothed to My Sister's Ex Now. I know what you're thinking. Ichigo! You hate stereotypical, cringy, fantasy, romance shit like this. I actually don't consume as much romance anime as you'd think, even though I'm a girl. It's a guilty pleasure for me, but I'm way quicker to pick shonens. Dare I say isekais, fantasies, yes, very dramatic animes. This one though, the art looks so pretty. We get a brown guy. He's kind of hot. I'm not biased or anything, but this was from this season and it kind of stuck out to me. There were some others, but there were a lot of... Well, no. This is from summer. The reason I didn't pick one from fall is because fall is very early. A lot of the fall animes aren't even done airing yet, so we wouldn't even have it done by next week. Is the problem. So that's why I did summer basically from last season, is I guess what I should have said, but I don't think fall has started. I think fall season starts in October technically. So this is still from this season. It's 12 episodes, summer 2025. 13 plus, 7.27 on my enemy list. It seems interesting. It seems like it's gonna be messy as hell. And it's 12 episodes, so it's not like we're losing a bunch of time. So I just picked this. It seems like it might be pretty shock, gasp, crazy. And then I'll read the synopsis. The Shadiran family, desperate to restore their lost status, dotes on their eldest daughter. I read this as Anastasia. Euthanasia, that's what I meant to say. Anastasia. I read it as euthanasia. Anastasia, while mistreating the younger Marie, who has grown to believe she's unworthy of love. At Marie's birthday party, Count Kairos Granado, he's Spanish, is captivated by her kindness and knowledge, though he mistakenly assumes it was Anastasia who charmed him. After Anastasia dies en route to Miriam, Maria is forced to take her sister's place as Kairos' fiancée. Despite her lack of confidence, Kairos' warmth and patience gradually help Marie discover her own value, the meaning of true love. It sounds cringy, but I'm really interested how they're gonna tackle if she's keeping it a secret and when he finds out and how messy it is. It seems pretty fun, so that's why I put it here. I'm not sure why it's fantasy. I assume there might be magic in it, but it was under the fantasy tag. I think. Wait, what if it wasn't? Hold on, let me check. Let me check this shit. Betrothed to My Sister's... Where the hell is it? Gotta go on the seasonal anime tab. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. It is... Wait, no, it's drama. What the fuck? Why did I think it was fantasy? Now I have no excuse to have this here. Well, that's no good. How could I do this to the winner? I feel so bad. I could have sworn it said fantasy because it was like medieval times. I was like, oh yeah, there's like wizards and shit in here. I'm actually losing it. I made a whole slide for it and everything. Hold on, let me just throw like a secondary option out there. I know we only have 4 poll options, but I'll just put like a slash there and then... I think the reason I picked this is because almost all of the other fantasies for summer were like isekais. And I think there were some other ones that were kind of interesting, but they were like continuations of another story. Close enough. I don't know. It looks like fantasy, right? Thought it was a fantasy because of the man in the cover was having fantasy about him. No! No! Let me see if there's another one. It's just everything else was like thirst slop. I don't know. I was gonna put Ginga Tokyo Milky Subway on here because it seemed really cute. I don't know what. It might have been because I felt like my computer was on its last legs. I just wanted to get that shit up and out. I don't know. I'm sorry, Meepy. Here, maybe you can like pick one of the voting options on the next voting thing as well. As an apology. And to be fair, the cover makes out of the video has the most fantasies are associated with. I know I saw it and I was like, yeah, they just be tagging shit with like everything. Surely this has the fantasy tag. Cause I saw another cover just like this. I was like, that one looks a little too freaky. They're gonna think I picked this one for me. I'm gonna pick this one because it's not one I'm particularly drawn to, but it still looks interesting. Thank you, Meepy. You're so forgiving. But yeah, those are my options that I've picked. And then I'm gonna spin the wheel for the fourth voting option. I don't know if it has sound, but I'll turn the volume up. And we're gonna spin. Okay, it landed on specific Berrydroid anime pick. So, I think how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna take note of like everyone here. And I'm gonna put you all on a wheel, and then whoever it lands on is gonna pick, and then that's gonna be what the fourth voting option is, the anime. So get your animes in mind. And I'm gonna work on the wheel while you guys do that. Get to thinking. It better have some hot guys in it. I'll just say that. That's your first warning right now. There better be some top tier Gooner material on that shit. Me. Well, I'm gonna make a little spinner wheel. Still fantasy though? No. It can be anything. Put me in that wheel, sure thing. Alright. I'll get to type in. What if it lands on Meepy again? Maybe more spread, garlic, Kraken, Carney, Hypersonic. You just be such a funny text. Bread, you just picked. Colossus. Saurus. Rex. And I think is Dinosaur here? No. There's also train printer. Spike. I think that's everybody in the chat. If you're lurking, feel free to shoot a message. I'll put you in the wheel. Berrydroid reconsumes us. Only Gooner anime! Alright, I got the wheel made. Last call, going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Alright. Wheel made. I've got everyone in the chat in there. And I'm gonna give it a spin. We're gonna see who gets to pick the fourth poll option. Carney! Congrats, Carney! Omedetou gozaimasu! I love pronouncing the su as su. Alright, Carney, you better become the thinker real quick. Who's the hottest anime boy you know? Where is he from? While I eat my olives. I'm gonna make the poll while you think. Hi Terry, you just missed the berry wheel. What a shame. Did I keep my other wheel the same? Let me see. Uh-oh, I clicked something I wasn't supposed to. Did I remove this? Okay, okay, I didn't remember. Dude, my tummy feels insane right now. It feels crazy, dude. I'm so scared. Anyways, well, not a gooder one, but blockade. Okay, let me take a Google. I'm gonna look it up on my anime list. Lacrosse. Blood blockade. Okay, guys, send this in. Blood blockade battlefront. This one, or is there a different one? I see a brown guy on the cover. Well, let me take a look at the guys. Oh, Leonardo, Renfro, Starface. Oh, I see. Yes. See, I'm such I'm an intellectual. In my intellectual opinion, this anime calls to me in some sort of manner. I can't say what. I think maybe the plot seems interesting. So, I think I'll approve this to be on the poll. Yeah. Wait, let me see how many episodes there are. 12. Okay. So, blood blockade battlefront. Should I read the synopsis to you guys? Supersonic monkeys. I think you guys will just have to guess what that entails. That was the first word, though, or two words, is supersonic monkeys. Supersonic monkeys, vampires, talking fishmen. Let's start the manga. Well, good. It is 12 episodes. It's summer, spring, summer 2015. Rated R. So there's you guys' description and warning, I guess. And I'll go ahead and make the poll. Next week's anime club voting. So let's see, we had Tokyo Ghoul. What was that other one called? It's a hard choice. We got a lot of good options this time. Usually there's like one that just like vastly overshadows the rest, or at least two. These are pretty good ones. From the New World. And then it was betrothed to my sister's ex. Ex is an interesting way to say that she fucking died. Dubai chocolate. Fucking Namba. Namba? Where's the Dubai chocolate? We don't see Dubai chocolate. You're crazy. Tweaking. He's having performative male hallucinations. I actually don't know what the Namba is. I'm sorry, Trimpanturis, Vinny. And then blood blockade battle. Alright, poll is going to start now. And you all can fight to the death there. I'm not allowed to vote in it, I don't think. So have fun with that while we wrap up. I guess because of my ranks being on the screen, I can say goodbye. I won't do that. Fight to the death! Fight to the death! Goodness. Tokyo Ghoul is massively ahead. Well, Blood Blockade is catching up. Nobody wants to watch Betrothed to My Sister's Ex? Really? Really? I can't believe this. It wouldn't be my first pick either. I can't blame you guys. Osaka. Oh, I see. Wait, you still Dubai chocolate there? I don't even know what real Dubai chocolate is anymore because it's been so TikTokified. I have no idea if I'm getting the authentic thing. I go Tokyo Cool, I'm sorry. What if Carney votes against his own choice? As intriguing as it betrothed betrothed sounds blood blockade has been on my radar for a while. I was trying to talk with a bunch of olives in my throat. It wasn't going well. Go chat. Tokyo Ghoul must win. I take it Train Printer likes Tokyo Ghoul. I voted for Cool, can't vote for my own pick. So who's voting for Blood Blockade then if it wasn't you yourself? What a betrayal. Fight, fight, fight. Some Russian. You guys like Tokyo Ghoul? Over there? Is it because it resembles Souls games? If I had to pick, I think I would pick From the New World just because I have this draw to be quirky and unique and original, and I'm like, I see something that nobody else knows about, I'm just like, yeah, it's part of my personality now. My tummy feels interesting. It feels scary in like a normal girl way, not in a concerning way. Brian is so good. This is a pretty close vote. I'm gonna wrap up the goodbyes, I guess, or the thank yous for the most part, and then I'll see what the poll's at when I'm done. Cause sometimes it surprises me when I look away. Dude, my water had condensation on it, but it wasn't that much, and I literally thought I somehow got like olive brine oil in my water, and that's why it looked that way. Okay. While we're voting, From a New World intrigued me more than Tokyo Ghoul. It did look interesting. I'll give it that, but it might come back. We always have the opportunity to bring something that didn't win back. Thank you mods, Train Printers, Spasiba, Meepy Morps. I guess technically Angel 7 Days since he sent me a TikTok during it. 6-7. And I think that's everybody. But thank you Meepy, Angel 78, and Train Printer. Mods for making sure everything goes smoothly. Thank you. And thank you for the top chatters. Red Garlic for reaching level 7. Thank you. Thank you Carney for reaching level 6. Thank you. And thank you Kraken for reaching level 5. Thank you. And that's all my thank yous. I'm gonna go and look at the poll and see what we landed on. I guess Tokyo Ghoul wins by a little bit more than Blood Blockade. So I'm gonna end it going once, going twice, and it's done. Winner is Tokyo Ghoul. That is next week's anime. Dare I do the math for how long it'll take to finish? 12 divided by 7. If you watch 1.7 episodes a day, you'll have it done before the next anime club. So 2 episodes a day, way easier than what we've been doing. We got this. We got this, chat. I'm prescribing an anime due next Thursday. There's no time to tell about the TG phenomenon in Russia. Tokyo Ghoul. I was reading that as Telegram. I'm sorry, I was like the Telegram incident. Anyways, so we're all watching Tokyo Ghoul together, and now that it's the episode's 2, 1.7, so 2. Just season 1, yes, just 12 episodes. I guess I should have. Dude, my throat just did the weirdest croak while I was talking. I didn't know that was possible. Just 12 episodes. I think that's all of season 1. So, 1.7 episodes a day, rounded up to 2. 2 episodes a day. I can probably just stream that in the server. Should be fine. The later seasons are unfaithful to the manga. Is there a reason they did that? Because, like, they waited a long time to get more seasons anyway, didn't they? So why would they stem off of it? That's really weird. I think I got lower reviews. Yeah, I saw that, like, everyone was mad about it in, like, 2020. I think I talked about this, like, 3 years ago, but 2020 felt weird, not just because of the pandemic, but because, like, everyone was shut in and a lot of people turned to anime for comfort. I was already an anime fan before then. And that was like the year that like 2 major nostalgic animes got like a new season and a new studio, so the art style changed or something, or the design changed. It's like Attack on Titan, the designs changed drastically, and then Tokyo Ghoul as well. And I think something else. So it just, the way 2020 felt to me was like, oh, I just wanna hide in the anime to cope, but even the anime has changed with the times. Is how it felt. I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but like, I didn't even recognize Tokyo Ghoul when it came out. I was like, what the hell is that? That's a new anime. That ain't no Tokyo Ghoul. That's some new shit. That's some Fukuoka demon. That's not Tokyo Ghoul. 2018. I just remember like 2020 was when I just could not go anywhere without seeing Dazai, Kaneki's new hair with that damn toxic e-boy haircut that he got, and Attack on Titan, and Nezuko, and that other girl, Cammy? No, not Cammy. The other girl in My Hero with the horn on her forehead. And I just constantly saw Nezuko and that girl drawn together to the point where I thought they were both in the same anime. It was weird. It was like those 5 characters were just on rotation on every social media I saw. Yeah, Eddie. I just saw those 5: Dazai, Kaneki, Eren Yeager, Eddie, Nezuko. That was it. That was all I saw everywhere. It was almost like no other animes existed. Oh, you guys are so in sync. You guys should hold hands. That's so cute. Anyways, so I guess we've decided on Tokyo Ghoul. I will be doing pretty easy homework, so I might just stream the first 2 episodes of the Discord server. If anyone wants to watch it, no pressure. I'm gonna try and stay strict on the schedule of watching from this point on. That way I can stream it to the Discord if anybody wants to watch it in the voice chat quietly, or Uncle, I don't know. Either way. And then that way, if anybody wants to join but they can't make it on Monday, as long as they're just like on schedule, I guess, for how many episodes, it'll be fine. They can just jump right in. Still VC, what the hell? Bro's cozy as hell in there. But yeah, that sounds good. I'll probably start today, because I'm just going to be doing my 32-page packet. So I'm probably just going to get some coffee and cozy up and watch Tokyo Ghoul while I do that. I think that's everything. As I said before, the Discord server will be going under maintenance probably this week. It's long overdue. And so if you wake up one day and the Discord server is shut and you can't talk or see anything, you're not in trouble. I'll make an announcement for it the day of. I just want to say that again here because it'll probably be tomorrow. And I think that's it. And yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. It's always super fun having our anime club meetings. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your days and nights and 24 hours. And yeah, bye bye, paka paka.